Hey guys, it's Mia here, and welcome back once again to another movie review. Now, as promised, it is the same day again, so same outfit, but I just finished New Moon the movie right after I finished the review for New Moon the book. Now, unlike with Twilight and the Twilight movie, I felt like they rushed through the story. But in New Moon, they kept it very similar in story. And also, I felt like New Moon was so much better shot. And what I mean by that is Twilight seemed to have like this weird blue filter over everything, so everything looked kind of blue. And I get that that was because Forks was kind of gloomy and rainy, so you needed a way to visually show that. But with New Moon, it seems like all of the scenes are actually like colors would be in the real world. They're not desaturated and they're not blue tinted. They're actually nice shots. Now, I would attribute that to being a different director because the director of Twilight was Catherine, and I forget his name now, but the director of New Moon was this guy. So it might come down to director's choice, but I liked the look of New Moon a lot better than I did Twilight because it just seemed less filtered and nasty to look at. And unlike in Twilight, where they seemed to fast forward completely through the story and gloss over how Edward and Bella actually got together, this movie seems to follow the book pretty well, and I really appreciate that. I mean, there were some stuff from the book that were cut, but that's understandable. You have as much time and as much pages as you want to fill the story when you're writing a book. When you're adapting a movie, or even making a movie in general, you don't have the time to waste on useless details. Like, in the book, Bella has a job working for one of her friends' dad's family, whatever. And they completely cut that out of the movie. And honestly, I was fine with that cut, because Bella having a job for Mike's family had really nothing to do with the story other than to show she had a hobby outside of Edward. And then there was the long talk on the plane when they were going to find Edward. That was also cut, which I was thankful for because it really didn't add much. They added just as much with them just riding in the car, and it worked just as well. So this stuck to the story so much better and didn't rush through it like Twilight did. Now, something I like that was not in the book that was in the movie was the scene with the Volturi when they were fighting Edward. They didn't actually fight in the book. It came down to more talking than fighting because they didn't want to cause a scene. But in the movie, it kind of amped up the tension and like, oh my goodness, these guys really are a threat. They just took down Edward without even that much of an issue. And they put Alice out of commission without even a fight. So it really showed how much of a threat the Volturi actually were. I mean, they did keep in the part where they were testing Bella to see if their powers could work on her, but I like how they added Edward trying to actually fight for Bella, because that added another layer to the dangers of the Volturi. So there's not really much I can say about the movie that I didn't say about the book. In the movie, I know I griped on Bella a lot when I did my review for New Moon, but honestly, I don't see how people can't hate Bella. She is a horrible person. And yes, she's still a bad person in the movie, but they kind of tone it down by an awful lot. Like, she's not as much of a hypocrite. She doesn't have as many hypocritical lines. She doesn't have as many lines that you're like, can I just kind of you right now? So they toned her down a bit. And like I said, this one looks so much better than Twilight, which had blue filters all over it. It was actually shot really nice, and I liked the cinematography and the lighting. And it seemed like the acting was better too. Now, I did say that so far New Moon has been my favorite of the book series, and that is consistent with the movies so far as well. So far, New Moon has been my favorite of the movie adaptations. And also, where the CGI was not very good in Twilight, and you could certainly see the green screen effects, I really enjoyed the CGI in this. It still looks pretty realistic. I mean, despite the wolves being giant, but they were described as giant in the book. But it still looks pretty good, especially when Paul got angry at Bella for punching him in the face, which who wouldn't get angry over that, and starts to transform. And then here comes Jacob jumping over. And that's something you can't really show in books. You can tell it in detail, yes. You can have the people reading imagining it. But it is 10 times more awesome to get to see the transformation, to get to see how big the wolves actually are. And they still look pretty damn good today. And I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know. Nothing against the first director, the one that directed Twilight, but I think the director who directed New Moon did a much better job. And that's all I can say, really. I mean, I've said all I can say about this in the book, really, because the director of this really did a good job of sticking to the story. And honestly, he cut out some of the details in the book that I kind of wish the author would have cut out, especially the ending of the book. It seemed like she dragged that ending on so much, and I was like, I just want to be done. We had our big climax, we can have them talking, but I want to be done with the story. And in the movie, you got that. There was no long talk after the end. Yes, they did talk, but in the book, it was like Jacob and Edward had their talk, and then we went back to Bella's and they had this long talk. There were just a lot of pointless long talks that the movie did a very good job of getting rid of or severely cutting down and still making it make sense. So, all in all, I really liked this. I mean, I loved the book and I loved the movie. So, I feel like everybody's acting was pretty good. The action was good. The cinematography was good. The CGI is still amazing today. And that's saying something because this is pretty old by now. And the book, it did a very good job of doing the book justice. And so far, both of these are my favorite out of the series. And no, that's not just because I like Jacob. But, yeah. So far it's 1 point for the book and 1 point for the adaptation to the movie. So, we'll see if that changes on my either Eclipse review, movie review, or on my Breaking Dawn or Breaking Dawn 1 and 2 review. So, hope to see you next time, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry this one was short. Like I said, the director did a good job of sticking to the story, and I pretty much said everything I had to say about the story. So, I just would feel like it's repetitive at this point. Hope to see you next time. I don't know when I'm going to start Eclipse. I'll probably start it either tomorrow or the day after. I really just want to take a break before I start Eclipse, because if I don't take a break, even a 1 or 2 day break, I'm going to feel like I'm just rushing the story to get it done. And I don't like to rush stories just to get them done. I like to take my time with them and read them. and it's a pretty hefty book. So I honestly don't know when I'm going to be done with this. So we might get some other shows or movie reviews and maybe some games. I haven't found any ones I want to do yet, but we'll see. Alright, bye guys!